They're always getting better. Your memories, how you want to remember them. Your fears, your freckles, your flair, your final little touches. The things that make you who you are.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon listeners. It's me Suleiman Ben Sware coming on Facebook Live. If you just bear me a minute, let me share this on my timeline, on my page, and I will carry on. Thank you very much. Today is Thursday, the 18th of November, 2021. The time is just gone 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. We are going to expose the cover-up behind the scenes, what they're trying to cover up in the Petroleum Saga. And the press conference yesterday was nothing but a smoke screen. And why? We'll explain why it is a smoke screen. They need to come out, they have to come out. The silence was deafening. They cannot continue to be silent because it was pushed onto them, and now they have to come out to explain. They reacted from demands. They managed to silence the press due to the interest groups involved. They arrested individuals, and they're still arresting some of them. Some of them are still in custody. Some were interviewed. And we all know that in 72 hours, people should be charged or free, and the investigation can continue. But in this case, these people are not charged yet. They are not freed. They are in custody. One has to ask themselves why they never came out to address the Gambian people, in a very important issue like the shortage of petrol and what have transpired. They try to keep it quiet and deal with it in a manner that is not transparent, because they have something to protect. The facts, the evidence are out there. Now we're going behind the scenes to get things that are going around, they're trying to do. And I am going to accuse President Barrow, the First Lady, Moussa Dramé, as other interest party in this case. And the only reason why they're trying to cover up is they're trying to protect President Barrow, the First Lady, and Moussa Dramé. Now, who are they trying to sacrifice? They're covering up. They are protecting other people here. And the only reason they're protecting those people is it's going to lead us to President Barrow. If independent investigations are done, the President Barrow, the First Lady, and Moussa Dramé are going to be held accountable. Why? Money have been exchanging hands from Gampetroleum MD. This is an allegation, but we have people that know and said that's a fact. To President Barrow, to the First Lady, and to Moussa Dramé. And money going to Moussa Dramé is meant for NPP campaign financing. Money going to Moussa Dramé is meant for NPP campaign financing. Now, the reason is why. Again, we have to use logical approach to bring out the evidence. And I will ask Gambians to go and read the law of evidence by Chief Justice Jallo. Then they will understand how some of this evidence some of these issues we talk about can be termed as evidence. How this evidence can be taken even to court. Now, this is what is happening. Ask yourself why the MD is not complying. And the proof, when I said this, now the press conference will find the proof in the press conference. The press conference said that they could not access the hard copies. They could not access the hard copies because of what? It's locked in the MD's office. He did not want to give it to them. And what I said before was because the MD is asking them to bring the president and the First Lady in order to get to the bottom of what happened. Moussa Dramé could not do that. Now they are negotiating with the MD. Why didn't they just check him? Now there's enough evidence to say that there's a wrongdoing. And if they go through all that evidence, they would have enough evidence to charge him on an offense. Negligence or theft or whatever it is, there is quite evidence out there to charge him, but he's not been charged. And again, even if he is charged, the proceedings will not happen until after elections. Because that's why I'm saying this. They might try to use him as a scapegoat if they cannot get what they want. But this is not limited to him. We all know that he has played a part, but he has not played the bigger role. The president has played the bigger role. And I will show you evidence, I'll explain evidence to where you can find logically that the president played a bigger role. And this is why the press conference came out, a small screen. The police investigations going, we know that if it was a competent investigation, if the police were completely independent, we know how powerful Abubakar Jawara is in the country and how much he induced the police, how much he have control over the police. We know how powerful the executive is and how much they control the police, because the police deputy IG in fact told us that they will act on executive orders. He said they will act on executive orders. Now, how can we expect the police to be neutral, to be independent, to do their job competently, even if they want to? This is another angle we have to look at. Now, they came out at a press conference and to react to what's been going on. They accepted, again, we are vindicated. They accepted everything we said without saying it directly. that this is a case of theft, this is a case of sidestepping SOP, standard operational procedures, this is a case of negligence, this is a case of, in fact, money laundering involved, this is a case of many. And the issues are criminal in nature. There are crimes committed, economic crimes committed. Then an arrangement cannot be done and to be seen fit and enough to deal with this issue. The issues should be investigated, detailed, to make sure all the people, principal people acting on this will be charged and taken to the courts to determine the outcome. And the sanctions will be prison, sanctions will be for them to repay a value to what they have damaged. This is what should happen. But it's not happening, because if you do a competent investigation, if you put the MD on the ballot, through the courts, the president and the first lady and Musa Drame will be pulled down. Would they do that? No. Now it's Gambians to determine. Now, if this case, if President Bao continued as a president after December, this case will go. Just as the cocaine case goes and other cases will go, this case will go. And we'll discuss that in detail. I am going through some points I noted according to how I got the information, and I'll be referring to that to explain logically what happened and provide evidence of this. And it's up to us Gambians to determine our future now. This is one of the biggest crimes that have ever happened in that country. And it involves the president and the first lady, as I said, and pointed at logical points that tells you that this case is not independently investigated and we're not likely to have an outcome. 1. The rule of law and the crimes committed. I will go into details by citing areas that where you can see the crime committed. Now, this crime of this magnitude, crimes of this magnitude, people have to go to the courts. It's only the court that can determine who is guilty and who is not. Allegations will be made, there will be suspicion, the investigation would produce evidence, and through that evidence, people will be charged. Now it's for the courts to determine whether these people are guilty. And the courts will take sanctions according to what the law prescribes, the powers given to them to censor, to put sanction on these people. The case of money laundering would be discovered in this. The case of negligence would be would be in this. The case of theft would be in this. The case of economic crime would be in this, because we are going to point of all this. 2. The MD Angul, Barrow, First Lady, and NPP Musa Drame. Now, as I said, if you listen to the press conference, they said that they cannot find a hard copy to determine the stock value, the stock or the missing, or to help their investigation. Because of what? They said the hard copies are locked in the MD's office. That means that the MD is not compliant. Why is the MD not compliant? Simple terms, the MD is holding onto his evidence, and he wants to make sure a competent investigation and people who are part of this are not safe, and he's not been thrown under the bus. Then if he have his day in court, he can defend himself. Now, why are they scared of that? Let them charge him. If the MD refuses to provide evidence, he can be charged. Why delay this case? No, they are negotiating with the MD. Why keep the MD more than 72 hours? He said because they are in negotiation. They are in negotiation. And this case should not be negotiated. It should be investigated following the rule of law, what the law prescribes. In 72 hours, there's enough evidence to charge anyone. And if you charge them, does not stop you charging them for more offense as the investigation proceed. Once you have new information, you can add to the charge sheet. That's one. But why? This is where you look at it. What does he have? Who does he have anything on? The president and first lady and Musa Brother. These are the three people accused of taking finances directly from the MD. Now, Gambia, this is a reason to think about your vote. And knowing this is just one aspect. This is the petroleum. Imagine the other interest groups doing everything in the country. And this will continue. And if you vote a government like this, it's like an approval that whatever you've been doing is right. Continue doing whatever you want to do. Let's go on. See. Now, the MD and his situation now, the rule of law, delay and tactics, failure to cooperate, the trade and chairperson. Now, the MD was taken to the police by the chairman of board of director for Gampetroleum, who is Mr. Tambedu. Mr. Tambedu is a close associate of the finance minister. You see, there's another interest groups there. I say there's a series of interest groups in that country running this government. They are all paying kickbacks to the president. That's why a chunk of the president's wealth and the first lady's wealth are from kickbacks from these industries. And Gampetroleum is contributing a major with GRA. We'll get to GRA. Now, they are playing a delaying tactics, trying to get and to settle this case, trying to avoid going through a measure that will bring the president into disrepute. Now, Chairman Tembedu was the one who reported the matter to the police. Now, the trade minister is turning around to blame Chairman Tembedu because the president is not happy that you people are losing me my elections. Now he's turning around to blaming Chairman Tembedu. Oh, you see, Chairman Tembedu took it to the police without consulting us. We could have looked at way of dealing with these things rather than taking it to the police. Now, the finance minister is coming to rescue Chairman Tembedu. Now, finance minister is saying, yes, we can deal this thing in a different manner. And we'll tell you what they're prescribing. And to avoid the attention of the public, to avoid the attention of the international community, to avoid the attention of this going to the political circles and lead us to lose this election. That's true. That's why they're dealing and they're negotiating. The trade minister now is kind of identified. Now they identify the trade minister. You see, now they identify the trade minister of serving the interests of Mohammed Jah, because he is a friend of Mohammed Jah and Mohammed Jah lobbied for him to get the job. Now they are blaming the trade minister for trying to bring the Gampetroleum guys down in order for Mohammed Jah to use his influence on the president to appoint the people he wants to appoint at the Gampetroleum and to have access for, again, to do the similar things that is happening. You see, another angle of another interest group, they are fighting and just to control. And Mohammed Jah and all these people we all know are supporting the president and the NPP for this case issues to continue. State capture. These are the people that capture the state. Now there's a pressure onto the president. Now this is causing a delay in the process. Rule of law is not being observed. Charges are not likely to come, or if they come, they are going to pick on the weak. And there's a negotiation, and I will explain the negotiation. Samkung, I'll call you back. I'm on radio, yeah? Thank you. This is what happens when you want to run a business and be an activist. I just lose my thought there. What I'm saying is, now they're negotiating. I'll come to what they're trying to negotiate for, Jawara. Now you will see to why the president would want to protect Ababakar Jawara. We'll come to that. But now they are negotiating to see how they can deal with this case, to avoid this thing to continue. Because if it continues, this is what's going to happen. Now you have the trade minister, you have the chairman of board of directors, Tambedu, trade minister, Sidi Keta, I mean, in loggerheads. But again, Sidi Keta is representing one interest group, that's Mohammed interest group, and Pura is sending reports which are kind of been critical by the others. They're saying that the other group, the Gampetroleum group, the Musa Drame group are saying no, Pura are doing this in order to tarnish this case, to make it more complex. This is the infighting we're having. This is the infighting we're having now in the country. Interest groups are fighting. And these are the interest groups behind the president to support him in order why? To continue their trade on defrauding the people. We move on to that. See, the economic crime and tax evasion, duty and GRA. Now, GRA will come to the complexities here now. You see, that's why I said to Gambians, this is nothing about tribe. All tribes are involved. All tribes are involved. This is nothing to do with tribe. These are interest groups. They don't care about what their tribes. They work according to their interests. The hospitals don't have a. If you go to a hospital, the Gambian hospitals, they don't ask for a tribe to treat you. You don't go there with a card. This is my tribe. You have a better treatment. You go there. Who your family is, you get a better treatment. The continuity of the interest groups. You have money. You have better treatment. You go to schools, you go to the state schools, you have everybody's equal. But you go to the schools, in the private schools, who are going there, the privilege. You go to the market, there's no tribe, selling on a tribe card. They will know, this is my tribe, I sell you. No, they are all involved. Different tribes are involved. They are interest groups. That's why we should not bring tribe into this. They are, yes, some of them might be family, but they are doing it for themselves, for their families, not tribe. Now, the GRA, another area that enabled the President Barrow to build his wealth and the First Lady and paying campaign finance to the NPP is GRA. Again, when the question was asked at the press conference, what happened with the tax? But first, when they sent their message, they said the GRA, let me look at that message. I think I still have a message saying that the GRA MD is going to be in the press conference. Why the GRA MD did not come to the press conference? Because they realized that if the GRA MD goes there, they are bringing attention to the tax. Then people might ask questions or expect him to explain the tax. That's where we should look at, and logically, I'll tell you why the president is the one complicit in this. And let me see, I think I've shared it with Paradise TV. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't see this thing, but he was meant to be at the press conference. We all know that. He didn't go. Now, when they were asked about the tax, they said that they're going to look at that. Tax cannot be determined. They said tax cannot be determined because it's a bonded warehouse. The tax can only be determined when it's been when it's delivered. That's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie. The only company exempt on tax is NARIC. And there's another loophole on that. When we have time to discuss NARIC, we'll tell you the loophole they use NARIC to steal money. Because NARIC is exempted on paying tax for certain things. Now they go on to use NARIC, to say that they're taking things to NARIC, if not, they're not supplying to NARIC. Now, it's a bonded warehouse, like a bonded storage. Now, there is a custom officer at the gates 24/7. There's no stock that will leave the warehouse, the depot, without a copy given to customers. Now, if the MD want to take anything outside the depot, that's why you cannot only blame the MD. Outside the depot, the GRA MD have to play ball. GRA MD will make sure that the person there would look the other way. The person there will look other way. If not, that vehicle, if not from NAWIC, that vehicle should not leave. Even for NAWIC, there should be a paperwork to show that it's for NAWIC. And then tax would not be, followed. Now, any vehicle that leaves the depot should have a, documentation. You see? Now, these are the SOPs. The standard operation, these are the SOPs. Why not? Because of now, the GRA will be complicit in the deal in order to take things out without the tax. That's why, again, tax fraud, defrauding the system, that's another economic crime. You see, all these things should be taken to the courts to recalculate all the tax for them to pay. Would that happen? No. But the market women, the small traders, the small businesses are been staffed, been chased by GRA to get the tax from them. But the big businesses are not paying the tax they're supposed to pay. That is making them wealthier. Just making them wealthier. GRA, the angle tells you who else benefits from GRA is President Barrow, Fourth Lady, and Musa Drame for campaign finance, because they pay to Musa Drame the money that goes for NPP campaign finance. Then nobody tell you. And I'll tell you, anybody said that the 57 vehicles is from a philanthropist, it's a lie. It's from GRA. I keep on saying this statement. If anybody comes out and say the 57 vehicles given to the MP are from philanthropists, it's a lie. It came from GRA. Came from GRA. Now, the GRA are complicit. And who else then would be responsible? The president. That's why the investigations would not go deep to uncover the loss for tax. They're going to massage the figures and to avoid, because a lot of interest groups who are supporting the president, who are paying money to the president, who are supporting his political party are part of the deal. It's a state capture. It's a state capture. Now, do you know another crime that is committed? Money laundering. Sidestepping the financial regulations. And all the people who took part in transacting this money should be charged and taken to the courts and sanctioned. Would they do that? No. Because they are all supporting the government. You see, these are the same people that turn around to tell you that, oh, the politics is about tribe. It's not about tribe. The politics is about money. The politics is about wealth for themselves. Now it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to decide. It's not about tribe. It's about their families. They use the ordinary Gambian to fight against each other, to run around themselves. But they are taking care of themselves. And if I say their family, it's not even trickling down to extended family. They go and build their 20 million properties in Bullfoot Heights and Fencing. And it's only them with their small size families. And they would, most of the men will have side chicks all over town, exploiting the young girls. That's what they do. And they turn around to say that you should empower them because of their Gambian businessmen. They are nothing but gangsters. They should make a difference. And in fact, it's worse for Gambian to rob you. It's worse for Gambian to rob you than to foreigner to rob you. Because they should have empathy for you. And they're blackmailing you to support them. And we're going to look at that. That's another angle, GRA, and the president should be held responsible. We look at that. That's why if you vote for Barrow to continue, this is what you're going to have. And they are going to deal in this case to make sure, even if they charge anyone, nothing will come out of it. They will be mentioned in court once, mentioned in court twice. It's December, and they will try to win. If they win, forget about it. Just as they charged the so-called permanent secretary for fisheries, mentioned one twice, forget about it. That's why they took charge the people for the passport affairs, mentioned in court one or twice, forget about it. That's what they do. Nothing will come into conclusion. The Ababakar angle. You see, I've point one angle from the MD. I've point two angle from the MD of GRA, MD of Gampetroleum. Two angle to the president, GRA. Third angle, Ababakar Jawara. We all know who Ababakar Jawara is. I'm not just saying that what he does for the police. And do you know why he does that for the police? That's why he can. That's what interest group do. They use money, and we all know what he does for the press. Ababakar Jawara came out with a press statement. It's all lies, absolute lie, absolute lie. And just a minute. The transaction he talked about is here. I got the transaction. I'm just covering the name. That's one transaction. Another transaction he talked about, FIB Bank, I've got the transaction. This is the transaction of the $1 million that went through Jagana. I have the evidence. I'm talking based on evidence. And this evidence is not going to come out until when it's necessary. Now, we all know Ababakar Jawara. We know his support for the president, his campaign everywhere. And the money he's putting in this campaign. It's not only him. Ba Jere Jabi. We all know his support for the president and his campaign and everything else and campaign finance. And all these people are giving money directly to the president for his wealth and directly to Musa Dramé for the NPP. And Ababakar Jawara is giving that money directly to the president and directly money to given to individuals and press coverage and everything else. He's paying that money. We have seen his campaign given to griots and everything else for NPP. He's not doing it for Gambia. Now, this person to come out that Gambians are not given business, Gambians should be given business. Again, Gambia, if you remember, when I said this, when the president visited Gampetroleum in May, 6 May, go and look at my timeline, 6 May, I said it. The president went there and the president came out with a statement, we'll try to empower Gambians. It's nothing. The president wanted to have, because of now they have set up themselves, now they're going to campaign, now they find out that Yaya Jammeh used to have money from here. Now the president want to benefit from that money. That's when some of this started. That's when some of this started. That's what led Ababakar Jawara in the business. Ababakar Jawara was representing the president's interest. You see, Gach unofficially is part of, President Barrow is part of the Gach enterprise. He's having shares, unofficial shares. He's having kickbacks regularly from any investment or profits made by Gach. This is a link, and I'm coming to that link. Now, to enable Ababakar to do this, Ababakar does not have the capacity. Ababakar does not have anything to, to go into the petroleum business. What did they do? And again, before I get there, Ababakar telling you that, oh, he's a Gambian businessman, Gambians should be empowered. Just like, other Gambian businessmen will tell you that. B. Mohammed Dia will tell you, senior boss, Gambians should be empowered. But go and look at their history. Whether you find any tangible investment, or, they do on just to benefit Gambians. Anything they do is for themselves. Anything they do is a PR stunt, just for themselves. We are not going to fall for that. They are capable of doing tangible things, but you will not see it. Anything they put in is a PR for their company to make money from us. Let nobody blackmail us. Let nobody abuse our emotions, our empathy to empower them. Let nobody use that to divide us. That's why we should move from this tribal nonsense. It's nothing about tribe. It's about wealth creation for individuals. They are not doing it to empower any tribe. They're doing it for themselves. Now, Ababakar. Why Ababakar linked to the president in this case? GNPC. GNPC is a standing-alone company. Since time of Yahya Jammeh, they have what it takes to do what they do. Now, if GNPC want a company to supply them, they can go to competent companies in the country to supply them. Now, in the notion that GNPC is going to supply, Ababakar to be given a contract. And you see, again, the press conference, they lied again, saying that it went to a bidding process. I said to you, the bidding process should not be determined by the price mechanism, that because of this person provided this, the cheapest price. No. The competency of that person have to be looked at. The track record of that person have to be looked at. You cannot expect somebody who have never been in the business, somebody who have a dodgy background, somebody to tell you that he's going to give you something of that certain price. Yes. Do you know why he can afford to do that? Because it's not his property. He's stealing to sell to you. Now, if you stay at your house and someone come with a mobile phone, iPhone 11, and said to you, I can sell you this iPhone 11 for $10,000. If you buy that iPhone 11, you are a thief. You are a thief. You know that iPhone 11 is not valued at $10,000. How did he get that iPhone 11? These are the measures, but they don't look at that. Because of his president's moral interest, he will have the contract. They will make sure he has the contract. Now, why give him a contract when he doesn't have the competence? Because of President Barrow is interested in that contract. He has to have it. Go and look at the board for German Gampetroleum and see the people in the board, the board of directors and for GNPC. And you see the president being represented in there. Just as any board constituted, people that he brought in there are people representing his interest. I'm not saying everybody, but he will always have people represent his interest. And if I'm not wrong, Sheikh Omar Digo will be the chairman. If I'm not wrong, Sheikh Omar Digo will be the chairman. And if you know the link between Barrow and Sheikh Omar Digo, you know how things work. If I'm not wrong, Sheikh Omar Digo is the chairman. Now, Ababakar given a contract that he doesn't have the capacity to fulfill. Now, Ababakar going to GNPC, going to Gampetroleum. Gampetroleum should not be selling. Gampetroleum doesn't sell well. Gampetroleum are in the business by receiving the fuel, managing the fuel, and make sure they distribute the fuel according to people who have the authority to take fuel. That's all they do. They cannot sell. Now, if Ababakar Jawara decided to been given fuel from Gampetroleum and likes buying from Gampetroleum, then who is authorizing that? That's where Barrow comes in. And again, if you go back to what I said about the MD, that's why the MD said, look, I'm not going to take blames for this. Bring the president. Does that mean that the president authorized him to give petrol to Ababakar Jawara? Does it logically? I'm talking about logically now. Now it's up to the investigation to get to that. Now the president is brought into disrepute. The presidency is brought into disrepute. He's a criminal. Now, Ababakar go to Gampetroleum to take petrol. I have evidence. I am not going to share the evidence. It will be shared where it needs to be shared and when it needs to be shared. I'm talking from authority here. Evidence I have that can be tendered in court that he took the petrol. He does not have what it takes to import petrol to sell to this thing. He doesn't have what it takes to buy petrol from the suppliers. He went and stole the petrol. Yes, he must be authorized by the MD. But why the other MD allowed to do that? Now you ask yourself. Now, Ababakar doing that is theft. He should be charged for theft. If you charge the MD, Babakar should be charged for handling stolen property. Now, Ababakar paying, he was not paying Gampetroleum when he paid out the $1.1 million. Because if he was paying Gampetroleum, he would have paid Gampetroleum accounts. But that's where, again, the press conference did not tell you. Now, why the money end up with Hadija Kebe? Hadija Kebe worked for Gach. He worked for Ababakar as his operational manager. What experience does he have to be an operational manager for oil? Marketing. Now, the money came from Ababakar. Money went to Mohammed Jagana. Money from Mohammed Jagana went to Khadija Kebe. It did not go to the MD. And Khadija Kebe worked for Ababakar. Now, did it not go for the MD? And even if it was meant for the MD, why pay the MD? MD is an employee of Gampetroleum. Gampetroleum pay the MD. MD does not sell fuel, should not sell fuel. Then if you receive fuel from the MD, you are a thief. You are holding property. Again, now, if, and that's what likely happened, that Ababakar got this petrol, did he pay tax? No. Again, the president, you see GRA again? GRA? Now, the Ababakar goes to Gampetroleum, be given petrol. Now, the GRA supposed to have a copy of the delivery, but they don't have a copy. If GRA had a copy of the delivery, that would have been a measure, that would be another angle to serve as a check and balance, that you cannot leave this petroleum without us having this thing. And by demanding tax from Ababakar, but Ababakar did not pay tax. He should be dealt for tax fraud. Tax fraud. And we should recover that money. We should recover that money. Now, GRA is complicit there again, goes to President Barrow. The entire system goes to President Barrow. Now, the press conference, he come, I paid this thing, he did not tell us. He cannot pay Gampetroleum. Gampetroleum, it's not selling petrol. Doesn't have a right to sell petrol. If he said, say who gave him the petrol, say who doesn't have right to sell petrol. Say who does not own the petrol. There is a standard operational procedure how to buy petrol in the Gambia. Why not follow that policy? No. He sidestepped this policy. He should be held in custody right now. Why he's not been charged? Because if you charge him, you are charging the president, because the money trail would be fine to the president. It's easy to find out how the president make wealth. Through these kickbacks, GRA, providing services to Gach and other places. Just ask in this sand mining business and other things. President get kickbacks from it, not Gambian people. That's why we don't have money in our hospitals, and they're lying to you. They have an insurance for people. It's just a joke. Where's the outrage? Now, we have Ababakar there. But again, Mohammed Jagana should be charged for money laundering. Mohammed Jagana should know he was an executive of Gambia Chamber of Commerce. He should know better. He should not, he can change the money because it came from an account to his business account. He can change the money. I have the proof. Now, but how can he move that money to someone else? Individual's account. 1.1 million dollars should not go to individual accounts. Should go to business accounts. And if he admit, I'm not sure what's going to admit, that money was meant for Sehu, then he knew that's wrong. Sehu cannot be paid $1.1 million. Any individual cannot be paid $1 million. There's no individual service an individual do in Gambia that's worth $1.1 million. You do a transaction The financial, financial things have a guideline. You cannot pay that money to this, transfer one to another. He should be investigated. And if he's found, he should be charged for money laundering. And the mere fact that the wife works for Gampetroleum as the company secretary, the board secretary, that's a conflict of interest. When he does any business with Gampetroleum, should be above board. But this is a dodgy transaction, and this is, he have brought his wife into disrepute. Now you see what they want. You see how they operate. Instead of following the SOPs, they have a parallel way they operate. Now that's why I said the press conference was a smoke screen to say that they came out and spoke to us. No. As I said, you can see how much crimes have been committed, how many type of crimes have been committed. That's why we need a competent authority to investigate this and get to the bottom of this. It would not happen. This is the motive why the president don't want this to be investigated properly, because it would get to him. Now Gambians are having this information. You vote for the president, you're just making someone else a fat cat. A fatter cat, for that matter. A fatter cat. And you're making all these people that you empowering, Gambians businesses, Gambian civil service, and because of you think they are your tribe people, you think they are this, or they are telling you because of that tribe is against our tribe, that's why they change this, that tribe is against my tribe, that's why they are lying. Go and look at all these people I name and who they connected. They are connected to all major Gambian tribes. Probably minority tribes are even insulated because they don't have the influence. But all the major tribes that we fighting against who have political interests, these are the ones. They are all in there. It's not about tribe. It's about theft, and they don't represent their tribe. It's about their interests. That's E. F. Now, what are they doing? Oh, Ababakar Jawara, what are they doing with Ababakar Jawara? Part of now, they structured for Ababakar to replace what he's taken. Now, they structured Khadija Kebe to replace what is taken. Now, they are structuring, which they are disputing. This is the negotiation. They're trying to structure for the MD to replace what is taken. You know, you go around say, it should not happen. They're trying to put everything back, what they can. There are reports. I'm not saying it's a fact. There's a report of allegations that the Khadija Kebe is replacing about $600,000 worth of fuel. This is what is coming out, that she is doing that. They are saying that there's an amount they want the MD to replace, and he's saying, look, go and bring the president. Go and bring the first lady. Go and bring Musa Drame. If anything to be replaced, these people have to be replacing. Now this is the stalemate. He is holding on. And I did not just say this. Go and listen to the press conference. This technical data, look, the managing director is not compliant. Because of his selling, they cannot get even access to things in his office. Because he's got the key. He's blocked it and he's kept the key somewhere else. Unless they go and break it. And they don't want to break in, because when they want to break in, it goes to the courts. A search warrant and everything else. They don't want to escalate. They want to they are escalating. Now they are blaming each other for escalating. They're blaming the chairman of board of directors for escalating it. Now, if talking of the chairman of board of directors for Gampetroleum, talking about all these shenanigans going on, where was the board? The board should be charged for negligence. They are paid to do a job, and they completely neglected their job. Why did they neglect their job? Are they complicit? Are they part of the deal? Or are they just lazy? They did not do their job. That's the investigation to determine. But they failed, because there is already an established SOP. And if that SOP is followed, this thing should not happen. Now, they are telling you Gambians why I brought out of the chairman and the board. They said, the investigators said that what they have is Excel spreadsheets provided by the MD. The MD was not using the software and provided, and all they have found with him is Excel. The chairman and the board of directors have an oversight responsibility, and any competent chairman and board should have a regular update of the business. They should have board meetings, and the MD is to produce statements, and these statements would not be on Excel spreadsheets. The board should have an access and see the files that are concerned, especially a business of this nature. The MD, the board and the board chairman should have intervals, not even regular. What do you call it? I mean, they should pay some surprise visits to the tank. You don't take chances. They fail. Now they should be charged for in these things, and people were saying, oh yeah, then we need to then have to look at the operations again. Look, the SOPs, we can say they are competent, but you can best bring the best system. But if the people are to apply it, know that if they don't apply it, nothing will come out of it. Negligence, nothing will come out of it. Deliberately to do other things, nothing will come out of it. That's what we have now. The SOPs were good enough to ensure this thing did not happen. Now, it's people that operate the system. The system doesn't operate us. The laws and the guidelines and everything is for us to follow. If we refuse, that's our responsibility. We cannot blame the system. And this is what they're telling us. That's what the press conference told you. That's a lie. If it happened, then the board should be held responsible. F, the recommendation of cover-up. Now the government have drawn on a plan. They have assured, they told you in the press conference, they said assured the liabilities will be paid. Gambian government guaranteed to pay that liabilities will be paid. Now, because of the money involved and what they can recover now, as I said, they cannot recover everything from the people involved, be the OMCs, the oil marketing companies, or individuals, the MD and other individuals responsible. What they're thinking, what they said now, they have drawn out. I don't want to say the figures. I'm not sure about the figures, but they have drawn out a payment plan to replace the stock, because it's easier to replace the stock than to pay in monetary terms. Because as you heard the Minister of Trade explain, because oil prices fluctuate, change every kind of hour or day, then it's easier to replace the stock, buy the stock and bring it back. Or order stock and bring it back. Now, this is how they planning to do it. Now they have put in plan, okay, we're going to give this much this time, and in 120 days we'll go give this, and order we do that. Now they are in agreement for this. Why are they going in agreement for this? Which is important. We need a measures to bring things, to regularize the, regularize the supply chain. That's what they're trying to do. But it's not enough. The case have to go to court. Investigation have to be detailed, and the case be taken to court. People need to be punished. People need to pay the value they took from us. The value they took us, I will come to that, the value. Now, this is what they're trying to do. But there's an alternative. Because the problem is caused by GNPC. GNPC have to take responsibility. But what they're doing, the government trying to use money, financial ministry again. Now to cover up the case, the financial ministry is jumping in. Now they're going for social security funds. To use social security funds to settle these things. And once you start to open the kind of forms, that's it. Once the funds leave social security accounts to go to pay these things, now it's to how to recover these funds. Competently, Social Security can take over the plant and run it for themselves. Technically, they have shares. They are one of the major shareholders. They can buy the other companies out and run the plan. There are many ways to do it, and they should do that. But no, this is opening the can of worms. And this is where the sacks will be waiting for. Once you open the can of worms, then you have the likes of Mohammed that try to come and take over the plant. You see, that's why we say we should be very careful. If this Baroque government continue, we are going to lose that plant. We are going to lose GNPC plant. And it's a lucrative business that should not just be left, out in the hands of individual Gambians or foreign investors, because they are equally the same people. They are not better. Even they are worse off, because they should have they should have empathy on us. But they will tell you all this, I am this kind of person. Nothing. They don't believe in nothing. Now, this is a problem they're going with. Now, there should be an alternative, but this is the situation. But guys, we are going to talk about other things, but these are only. I was concentrating on only the four. But there are other crimes being taken care of by other interest groups. I got information which I'll be going to look at by Lamin Job of Works and Communication or Infrastructure, given a contract to his own blood brother as a consultant for the road construction. You see, the nepotism, looking after each other, family, and these people are cashing out. They're doing everything to get almost whatever they want. And I will tell you one thing: whoever you vote for, whoever you vote for, if you don't ask for this accountability, I'll tell you, that person comes, they'll take that person off. They will capture that person again, and this corruption will continue. It's up to you to hold people accountable. Accountability is the key. Ask for the transparency and accountability. Okay, guys, that's how much I want to give, and that's the information there, and all the evidence is there, and we are going to follow through. And if you allow this to be massaged and left out, that's a Gambian's problem. We are going to pay for it. If we allow Barra to continue, I'll tell you, the worst is going to come. The worst is going to come. Now, you don't expect your press to tell you. No, they will print out the PR press release from these criminals. But they will not go out there to use logic, to investigate and give you what is going on. They will not do that. But they will be quick to put a press release. Ababakar Jawara said that people are attacking him because of he is Gambian and because of for political reasons. It's a lie. I don't care a nut of who is. What he's doing, what I'm caring about. He's a thief. He's been stealing. He's been committing a crime. And another thing, I did not want to get there. I never wanted to push it, but I know Samsar is going around, not even calling my name, for what reason he knows. I know now he'll do it, because I keep on telling him he's not calling my name, he's not going out. That's why I said these are all motivation to get these people out. They are all hungry. All hungry. They don't have credibility. They're running onto NPP just to carry on this business. For the records, Samsar is related. Samsar's wife, sister, is the mother of Khadija Kebe. That's one of his interests. But it's not only that, because we are aware of all the things that he's done and which angered the family. He doesn't care about family. But he is doing this. Samsar is doing this, going around trying to attack anybody on social media and everywhere else, trying to prove to Barrow that he's capable. He's an intellect. He's capable. He's a giant on this. I'm fighting your campaign. I'm doing this. He's having crumbs coming in now for position to retire. Retirement. All these people are looking for retirement. They're all looking for retirement. Thank you very much, guys. I just had to. I don't even want to mention him, but it's just relevant to point those things out, and Gambians to understand that all these people needed to be taken out of the system. We need these elections more than any other elections, and we will continue the campaign. Thank you.